Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is another episode of FAITH. As you already know, FAITH is a series of videos where I do different kind of videos about informative stuff for all of you owner operators and truck owners and drivers. And I do reviews about trucks, reviews about engines, giving you details about problems, more specifically about emissions or engine problems, or also reviewing products as well. Many things I do here. And if for any reason you want to contact me, make sure to go into Instagram and look for FranciscoAmaya YouTube, and there you can find me. Make sure to follow me, and then you can ask me any questions related to anything, and also you can contact me about any things that you want me to do for you, or if you want to be on a video like this, you can contact me as well, and we can set something up. If you are in the area or in another state, we can set something up, so everything works. In this case, I have this international ProStar with a C13 engine, which is a super weird combination. There is not many C13s with an international, but in this case I have it. But if you have a C15 engine, the Acert, the last C15 with the DPF filter, make sure to contact me. I would like to check that because there is not too many left, especially here in California. But as I say, this is a C13 engine, and if you don't know what a C13 engine is, that is the smallest heavy-duty Class 8 version of the Caterpillar. So the C13 is going to be a 13,000 liter engine, so a 13 liters. So in this case, what it is the engine is smaller, less horsepower and everything. But the situation with this engine is that this engine is no longer in production. As you already know, Caterpillar ceased productions like in 2010 because of many problems with emissions. The problem with Caterpillar is that they went with this system that is super unreliable. If you own a Caterpillar, or if you work with a Caterpillar before you had a Caterpillar or something, you know how bad they are. They break so easy, and the parts are super expensive, and that's one of the major issues of this one. So today I'm going to be talking about why this engine was a failure, why this engine went so bad design, and it goes similar to C15s, but I don't wanna be too generic, like trying to compare the C15 to the C13. So probably if you have a C15, you can contact me. I want to do a different video for C15. In this case, I'm just going to be talking about C13s, but it's kind of similar technology, but they have kind of different problems. So without mind, let's start with this. The first thing I want to be pointing with this Caterpillar C13 is then this Caterpillar tends to have so many problems, and one of the major problems is high compression, high crankcase pressure. And the high crankcase pressure happens because of this filter over here. This is a crankcase filter on this Caterpillar. What happens is this one gets too clogged with material, with oil, because that filter is not is not meant to last long. That filter has to be replaced soon because this engine has so much a blow-by going on there, and because that filter is not like a bypass filter, it's just a filter, then the material has to go through the filter, but it has no bypass hole, there is no a bypass orifice or something to go through. It tends to create high compression, high blow-by pressure inside the engine, and this starts to leak oil all over the place. You want to see all over the gaskets and everything, because that is too much. That's one of the easiest problems you're gonna see, and then after that it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. On this side, as you can see, it looks normal. On the C13s, it looks normal. You have the alternator, a compressor over here, the fuel module over there where the fuel goes and everything, fuel filter, fuel separator over here, the computer over there, and some cables over there. It looks normal. The fun about this engine is on the exhaust side, so let's go check it out. So here is what I'm talking about. See the side of this engine? It looks totally different from the other side. There is too many components on this side. Caterpillar for some reason decided to put extremely hard to access components in this area, and the only problem with this is, it is not then how hard it is to work on them. It is then they're really expensive. These components, all of these are really expensive, and they don't last long. And that is one of the reasons why this engine didn't last that long over the road, because this engine only lasted like for 2-3 years over the road, and then they canceled it and then never brought it back because it was too much headache. So I want to start with the stuff that you can notice. This pipe over here, this is the CAC, and this pipe comes over here. So this over here, in this case, we have a pipe, this pipe then goes through. So this one doesn't have anything over here. It has some air injection. This pipe then goes over here is air injection pipe that comes from the turbo pressure. It goes all the way to this little thing over here, then, which is the head for the emission system. This is for to the DPF to burn all the ashes and everything. So in this case, because this is not a C15, doesn't have the pre-cooler. The C15 has a pre-cooler over here, which is harder to access. In this case, this one is easier. There is nothing there. It's just a straight pipe that comes from the turbo over there. It comes from here and there. But if you see, the junction is all the way over there. This is where the junction of this pipe goes over here, which is super hard to access. And I don't know how someone can be able to work on one of these every day. I mean, you get used to work on one of these when you work often, but it is so much harder to work on one of these. I'm telling you, I used to work on one of these, and I don't want to work anymore because it's too much work. And if you're still working on this type of engines, you know how hard it is. So this is so simple, right? So you have twin turbos. You have one turbo over here and you have the other turbo over here. The reason why you have twin turbos is because emission system. Caterpillar thought about emission system to reduce, because Caterpillar doesn't have EGRs or something, and this one has EGR, but the older version didn't have EGR. But they thought about the best way to reduce emission is by cooling the air that goes to the combustion chamber. So having two turbos, you increase a little more pressure, a little more boost. The turbo temperature will decrease because of the turbo is not receiving the temperature directly, and plus you have the pre-cooler, you will lower the temperature. You will keep the temperature steady. In this case, it's not the case because you don't have pre-cooler, but that was the idea of Caterpillar, but that was not a very good idea. They did it wrong. But anyway, you have these turbos over here that are connected. The way they are connected over here, so there is the intake side of the turbo and there is the exhaust side. So the exhaust side comes from the exhaust manifold over there, and it goes to the other turbo over here. This other turbo pushes the pressure back to this one, and then this turbo pressure the pressure back to this one. So it is a big mess, right? And this turbo is the one in charge to pull the air from the air filter over there. So it goes like a little purse over here. So it's kind of hard to understand how it works. But then underneath here, that area over here, see this? I don't know if you can hear, I see this. I mean, this is like all the way over here. That is the EGR cooler. That is a super inconvenient position for that EGR cooler. That EGR cooler is the one in charge to reduce the temperature coming from the exhaust gases, because that's what it is, the EGR. In this case, this EGR is designed in a very weird way. So that is the DPF filter, and that pipe, you see that pipe then goes to the front, the ones on top of the DPF filter, that pipe is the EGR piping. So for some reason, Caterpillar design was to take the emissions right from the back, because on the back, that area where that pipe is mounted, that is where the DPF outlet is. So the DPF outlet is the last piece of emission you're gonna have. That's where the temperature was increased from the emissions, and when the last components, the last materials of the pollutant materials, which is the diesel in this case, were left. So that's how Caterpillar designed it. But this design was not the very best, because it was like kind of like laggy, and it was so expensive because of that. That's the reason why this EGR system is super expensive, super weird and super expensive, because they have their own way to do it. The majority of manufacturers, they do from the exhaust manifold exactly, they pull the EGR to the EGR valve and to the EGR cooler. Exactly. The only benefit of doing it the way Caterpillar did is then you don't lose any pressure of the turbo pressure if you have a problem with the EGR system. The only problem with the manufacturer then does, like the EGR system mounted on the exhaust manifold, is then if the EGR is leaking for some reason, you want to lose a lot of pressure, a lot of turbo pressure, and that's very important when you are requesting power. But nevertheless, even though then this one had this system, still was not the best design they had. The major problem, one of the biggest problems of this Caterpillar, especially emission-wise, is the DPF problems, which are very expensive. Everything is expensive on this one. You see this part over here. This part over here, this is like a head. Is like a little head for the emission system. In this case, this Caterpillar, it is not equipped with a DOC. This one has that little thing over there that is called, I believe, the ATD, Alter Treatment Device, or something like that. ATD or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Use the comment section below and put the right name. Designation or whatever is called that thing. So you can use that. So that thing is in charge to ignite the fuel for the DPF system. So in this case, the regular system is then you have the DOC and you have the DPF. The DOC is in charge to increase the temperature. But because this one doesn't have a DOC, it has that little thing over there. That little thing over there is like a little head. It has like a head, and in the middle of the head over there is a spark plug. You cannot see it from here. You cannot see it, but there is a little spark plug in the middle of the head. That spark plug is meant to ignite the fuel then goes from the system. So the system over there is going to send fuel to burn all the ashes and at the DPF system. So that is going to ignite the fuel, and then it's going to send the flame all the way from there to the DPF. But that thing goes bad so easy. It breaks very fast and it's super expensive to repair. And I mean, who wants that? I mean, like that's one of the major reasons why this engine went like out, because it is super unreliable and it is expensive, because you know, as you already know, Caterpillar is expensive. So because of that, the DPF on the back, you have all the DPF, and the thing is like when you transfer all the temperature from the piping, then goes all the way from here to the DPF. All that piping reduces the amount of temperature that you are sending from this area to the DPF, because that travel takes temperature away. That's the reason why this system was not the very best, not very effective, and it has many problems with emissions especially. So that's one of the major reasons. And engine-wise, talking about engine now, talking about engine problems, yes, they have problems. Problems are going to vary depending on what is the situation going on with the engine. They're not the same, they're all vary. But majority of problems on these ones are going to be like injector problems. Injector just breaks, or injector just start failing, or stuff like that. You wanna have like high crankcase pressure, which is caused because of the engine goes bad, start releasing pressure from the piston rings of different areas, and situations like that. I mean, like, this engine is not known to be the best engine. I actually believe that the C13 is just a tiny bit better than the C15. The C13 is okay, it's not that bad, but the C15, that is super bad. The C13 doesn't, it has problems, but it is not that many engine problems. The C15, it does have so many problems. It has so many, but it is not that much difference, because all the components are expensive, and they just break pretty easy. Okay. This is all pretty much I'm gonna be talking about this Caterpillar. I mean, like, there is so much to talk about this Caterpillar, but I mean, like, it is pointless to talk about some problems that this engine has if there is no engines left. Like, there is not many Caterpillars left over the roads. I mean, I'm pretty sure in other states, in other countries, probably you're gonna have this, but not in California. In California, it's super rare, especially this one. I don't know, this one, I found this one, and it's impressive to see it. And especially with this combination, Pro Star truck with a Caterpillar, it is super hard to find this combination because most of the Pro Stars don't have Caterpillars. It's very rare. But sadly, Caterpillar was classified as one of the best engines all over the world, especially for machines, right, and trucks, because they were super good. But when Caterpillar started going to the twin turbo technology, started like messing around with so many stuff, and they started having problems. Twin turbos since 2004, that was the first twin turbo, something like that. I mean, on highway, and that was when everything started to change. It was okay still, but they have a major issue, major engine problem, which was the head. It cracked from the center and started like blowing a lot of pressure to the coolant system. And also there was another problem with the rocker arms on top. They break, the bolts, they were very common on those Caterpillars. And since then, Caterpillar started making bad decisions, I believe, especially on highway engines. And that's how Caterpillar went. And sadly, Caterpillar went out of business. Not out of business like they broke. It is they went out of business on highway applications. It's okay. I mean, we have still Detroit and Cummins, which are the leaders right now. But it was bad because we didn't want another Caterpillar like this over the highways. A 2020 Caterpillar like this, and it's gonna break pretty easy, and everything is gonna be expensive. Nobody will want that. Nobody will buy that. So, I mean, it was a good decision for them to retire instead of investing more money or something. Then they won't even know if it's gonna work well or no, because they have to redesign everything. And after they design this engine, because they redesigned the engine, and they spent a lot of money trying to do this technology, and just to know that it failed, it's hard. So it is just better to retire and instead just trying to do something that is going to fail again because they have to design a new system. Instead, that I'm not sure then if it's a Max Force or Packard, not completely sure. I believe it's Max Force. Max Force is the one that has the parent of the block or something about Caterpillar, and they have similar technology as Caterpillar, the pre-coolers, twin turbo, and everything about Caterpillar. But still, Max Force is still in the process of getting better. The first Max Force are super bad, but the newer Max Force are getting better. But still, it's not the way it's supposed to be because technology-wise are not. Engine could be good, but technology is super bad. I like Caterpillar because I'm pretty sure you like Caterpillar as owner operators, as drivers. You know how powerful they are, how much performance they do over the roads, over any loads that they do, and they have that because Caterpillar is known because of the power. It's not because of the reliability, it's because of the power. But sadly, it happened to Caterpillar, and it never came back after that. It's been like 10 years, almost 10 years now. Yeah, it's over 10 years now, and Caterpillar is still out of business on highway applications. And sadly, this is going to be like for a long period of time. I don't think Caterpillar is going to come back, and I believe then that will be the best way to do it, because after this failure, it's better to stay the way you are instead of investing money on something you don't know, as I said before. So I don't say then I don't like Caterpillar. I just say then it has many issues, okay? So don't get me wrong. If you believe that I'm saying something wrong, just make sure you can use the comment section below, express your opinions. I'm not saying nothing bad about it. I'm just saying what I know. And if you own a Caterpillar and is you didn't have any problems with it, or you don't have any problems with it, that's good. I know the old 3406, they were so good. The C15s, one turbo, they were good as well. The twin turbo, they were not that well, but they were good. I mean, they were good, but they were not like super good. And these ones just like went to trash. But with this, I conclude the video. I really want to do a C15, and if you have anything, any C15, let me know. I will just try to check it out. Also, I'm interested to do a video about trying to start an old truck. That would be a good video, right? Trying to start an old truck, a truck that hasn't been started for a while. I will try to do that just to see what happens. Probably I spend so much time there, then it wouldn't be worth my time, but you just want to do a video like that. Probably if you have something like that, try to contact me, and who knows, I will be there. As long as it's not like 2,000 miles from here, I'll go. So, well, that's all for the moment. And if you have any questions about this video, use the comment section below. Leave all your opinions or your thoughts about this engine, and everything is welcome, you know, like every opinion matters. And if you have something to share, if you have an opinion, then it's very important. Just try to share it there. Everybody will actually find it interesting, or they will reply to you. Also, if you have an answer for people that is answering questions on my comment section below, go ahead, answer it, because sometimes I don't have the time to answer it, and I feel happy when someone answers a question that someone else has, because that way we are trying to help each other. If you have any video ideas, use the comment section below as well, or contact me on Instagram, FranciscoAmaya YouTube, and then how you can contact me, and then you can ask me anything there too as well. Make sure to like the video, very important. Subscribe to the channel, that is very important as well. And make sure to share the video so other people can understand more about topics than I talk. And thank you for watching.